Hello and welcome to a new Scale 500 news video here on the channel. Herpa has just released their announcements for this year's 0708 batch, and that of course calls for a video to take a look at what they have come up with this time around. And I should also mention that they have also today actually released announced at least a new Herpa Wings club model, and I know you won't believe it either, but yes, it is of course a 727-100 of Braniff, and it even looks like they are including a funny mistake in that livery, but more on that later in the video. Let's now first focus on the official announcements for Herpa's 0708 release batch 2025. So just before we jump into the models that are in this release batch, I just want to mention that at the time of recording this, the prices of the models have not become available just yet, which means I won't be talking about them, but you can always see the price in the graphics that will pop up in the screen, so you can see what these models will cost at the official retail price set by Herpa Wings. Now, given the front page of this batch, it's not a surprise that there will be a Condor model in this batch, but I think it is a bit of a surprise that we are not seeing a new 757. Instead, we are getting the, according to Herpa, very first Airbus A320 Neo delivered to Condor. And sure, I think it is a cool looking model. I mean, I still don't like the livery, but that's my personal issue. But I think it is a missed opportunity not to continue with the 757 releases. In my opinion, if they aren't releasing them right now, it is already really late. So if we are waiting even further release batches, then it's pretty much too late. And the point of making these 757 Condors, well, is getting smaller and smaller. But that's just my 2 cents to this topic. Another model in this batch where Herpa even themselves admitted that they perhaps are a little bit late to the party is this new Airbus A321 Neo of Etihad Airways, with admittedly a really stunning livery. It is the 20-year anniversary livery of the airline that they have added to this aircraft type. And yeah, I think this looks really spectacular. I like the standard livery of Etihad Airways, but this is also a brilliant special livery, and it will be interesting to see how Herpa actually manages to replicate this livery, but it looks like we will get this aircraft model before the airline turns 21 years, at least if the model doesn't get delayed. And I think if they could manage to do that, then it would still be a lovely aircraft model to have in one's collection. And speaking of a must-have model, I think the next one is for sure for many collectors a must-have. It is the world's first Airbus A321 XLR in the livery of Iberia. And I think the combination of it being a kind of brand new aircraft type, a single aisle, and one of the legacy carriers of Europe, I think is a combination that will make this a bestseller, and it will fit into many collectors' collection. So I would probably not wait too long to get this aircraft model once it is released, because I think this could be one that is leaving shelves rather quickly. But we will, of course, see once it is released. But this batch does also have something for collectors that are looking more towards Oceania region, like this Qantas A321 Neo. And I think this is a really cool addition. Of course, it would still be lovely if Herpa would actually be able to do other airlines than just Qantas, but as it goes, this is for sure one of the most exciting aircraft models from that region at the moment. The aircraft in real life has not yet been delivered. I actually saw it just a few days ago in Hamburg at the Airbus factory, but they are, according to some local sources, being delivered in June. So by the time this aircraft model will be delivered from Herpa Wings, it should also be flying around in real life. And as I said, yeah, I think this is a really exciting aircraft model. Can't wait to see the Qantas livery on the A321 model from Herpa Wings. But in this batch, the 737 MAX 8 is also represented in form of the next Iceland Air, now with this green tail design. So yeah, I mean, sure, we have had already quite a few, but it is nice to see that they were following up and completing the tail designs from Iceland Air. I don't know if this is a model for every collector. I think many who already have one or two might not go for the next one, but there are of course also those who just like to complete their collections, and there you go. go. This is the next model, so you can do just that. But there's more coming from Boeing in form of a 737 MAX 8 of Norwegian. And I mean, it's been a while since we've seen that airline featured from Herpa Wings, so it's nice to see that they are still around. And we get a new tail design. This time it features Charles Lindbergh, and with that tail design, the livery is perfectly correct, but I think it is a slight missed opportunity here. I would have loved to see a new Norwegian featuring the airline's new livery, because they actually have made a slightly updated version to their livery. Of course, it would not have matched with that tail, so I fully get that this is how the livery has to look on the model with that tail, but as I say, I would actually have loved to see a Norwegian with the new and up-to-date livery design, but perhaps we can get that in the future. And then a model in this batch that actually surprised me a bit. It is a new Dreamliner from United Airlines, a 787-9, with a special livery promoting United's efforts in, well, not going green. You can't really call it that, even though marketing people, of course, would say it is just that, but using SAF, so sustainable aviation fuel. And yeah, I mean, the livery is kind of cool. It is fairly basic, but a design that is a bit unusual. Quite interesting. Will be very interesting to see how Herpa manages with their print on this aircraft model. Hopefully not too many print lines, or hopefully no print lines whatsoever. That would of course be the main objective. If they can pull that off, we will see once the model is released. And then we have a few more wide bodies. One here from Europe in form of an Airbus A330-900 Neo of the Portuguese flag carrier TAP Air Portugal, but in the Star Alliance livery. And actually, come to think of it, when we look back at some of the comments from the Herpa Wings product manager in some of their live streams this year, they did kind of allude to the fact that there would be more Alliance liveries coming this year. And so here we see at least one model that fits that description. Perhaps we will see more later down the line. That could be quite cool, but this time around we will get a Star Alliance livery A330-900 Neo of TAP Air Portugal. Very cool. And then there is something for the military or slash governmental aircraft collectors in form of the Japanese Air Force Boeing 777-300ER. This is the 001 version. The original version I have actually already reviewed here on the channel. That is something you can check out if you are interested in that. But now we are getting a new variant of this, and there's one slight concern from my side. When we look here at the belly of the aircraft here in the tail, we have this kind of bluish color. Now the real aircraft, when we look up this registration, does seem to have something similar to it, however not quite as potent as the blue we see here on the belly of the aircraft. So I do hope that this is just a graphics and that on the model it will be adjusted to better match what the real aircraft features. But we know Herpa is fairly inconsistent with these things, so keep an eye out for that before you purchase the model. That would be my advice. And then there's also something for those classic collectors, as Herpa has also made a new model of a Caravel, this time featuring Finnair. And I mean, that is a lovely livery on the Caravel. It's not a model for me because I'm not collecting these kind of aircraft types, but I think this is still a lovely retro model, a lovely classic model, and it does sound like there will be coming more Caravel in the future. It seems like they will start a little bit of a series with that, and it could even be one or two in the next release batch from Herpa Wings, so we will keep an eye on that. For those classic collectors, there seems to be more interesting stuff coming fairly soon. Now, there was of course also the topic of a new Herpa Wings club model, something we definitely don't see enough of. And because we don't see enough club models, Herpa thought this time we really give collectors something brilliant, something they have all been waiting for. Yes, indeed. It is, of course, a new 727-100 in the colors of Braniff. Yeah, I mean, okay, look, if you are a Braniff collector, you must have the time of your life at the moment. For everybody else, this is getting a little bit ridiculous, Herpa Wings, but okay, you do you. Of course, you can get this brilliant model for the measly amount of just 40 euros. If you can't hear my sarcasm here, then I apologize. But Tim Wings Collector 500 was very eagle-eyed and immediately spotted a mistake on this aircraft model. I mean, Herpa and making mistakes, that's also completely new. We've never seen that before. Because the aircraft with that livery, with that blue tone, did not have this metallic edge at the back end of the stabilizer. In fact, all images on the internet, unfortunately I can't show you these because I don't have the image rights to them, but they all have a white tail, not this metallic edge as we see here. There might also be some issue with the silver leading edge on the engines, although there are some images where it looks like this. There are some images where the leading edge is much wider, but leave the engine aside. But the combination of this metallic edge at the tail and that light blue color, that at least there isn't really any image. When you look up the registration code of that aircraft, there's no match. There is an aircraft with that registration code with a darker blue color where they had this metallic edge, but again, the combination just doesn't match up with what we see on the model. So I don't want to say that Herpa has made a mistake here, but it looks like it. So those were the models that Herpa has in store for us for the 0708 release batch, or as they now call it, the Herpa release batch number 4. But yeah, what are your thoughts about this? Let me know in the comment section below. Let's have a conversation down there. For me, I mean, yeah, it is cool to see a Condor A320 Neo, but I really don't understand that they would, as they actually said it in their announcement video, take a break from the 757 Condor models, because they have only released or announced, they haven't even released it yet, they have only announced one of them. And I mean, I'm actually already not interested in these models anymore, because these aircraft are already leaving the Condor fleet by the end of the year. They will all be gone. So now taking a break from releasing these remaining 757 Condor models, I really don't understand. I don't think it's because they want to take a break. I think they have production issues, to be honest, but it just further delaying these models makes them even less attractive for many collectors, because I'm sure I'm not the only one who wants to have more or less, well, models that are actually currently in the air, in the sky. And yeah, having these aircraft retired before the models are released, it will just automatically and naturally reduce the customer base for these models, which is a shame. Apart from that, I mean, I think they're kind of playing it safe here with the releases. There are some interesting ones. I mean, we get the first Qantas A321 Neo, that's really cool. We get the very first XLR with Iberia. Yeah, simple models. Hopefully they won't mess them up, and hopefully they will manage to release them on time and not with so many other models last year and so far this year with heavy delays. But again, what are your thoughts about this new batch from Herpa Wings? Let me know in the comment section below. And as always, if you like this type of content, then don't forget to leave a like. That will be very much appreciated. And of course, if you are new around here, you're always welcome to hit subscribe. With that, thanks so much for watching. I'm checking out, and bye.